Welcome to another episode of Jupiter's CROCK, my friends. My name is Matthew. I am joined once again by Ronan.
Yeah, I'm here. No one's going to get that joke. Nobody.
And Robo Steve. You're here, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here. See, now I'm going to edit that out of the previous episode, so no one will have any fucking idea what Rona's doing. They'll just think he randomly turned into a goat for like 2-3 seconds.
Bruh, that's not cool, man.
If you're listening to this, if this is your first time listening to Jupiter's CROCK, Steve, explain to the person out there who just hit that like and subscribe button, what do we do here?
We talk about Roman shows, but only 2 of them, because that's as far as we've gotten. We started as just a Spartacus review series, because Spartacus is fantastic, and we know now that eventually House of Asher, like a what-if Spartacus story is coming in the future, we needed something to bridge the gap, and we regretfully chose to fill that gap with HBO's Rome.
Very regrettably. Incredible regret.
Yeah, and so this week we are on episode 4 of season 2. I think there's, six more episodes left after this, and we are finished up. This episode's called Testudo et Lepus, the tortoise and the hare. All right, Plodicus, let's see if you have no technical issues and lead us through this winding road.
I'm going to have all the technical issues. So Titus Pullo is on horseback trying to find Varenus. So either another several months have passed or Varenus was across the street. We don't know. But he very quickly catches up with Mark Antony's army, who had
he catches up. He on a single horse. He basically catches up to 3 months of the Mark Antony's army marching upwards in the span of no time at all. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have no clue how long the show goes. This time frame.
Yeah, it's either been another 3 months or again, Mark Antony was across the street. It's just, if the show was better, I would ignore stuff like this. But it has. Early on, I was on board with it. Here recently, I've been not enjoying it. So, whatever grace it had earned for me to overlook stuff like this, it's gone. Now I feel like I have to call out all of the annoying things this show does right now. And one of them is passage of time. Titus Pullo at light speed goes out on a horse and catches up with Mark Antony's army the next day. And so he's first, before he even catches up with Mark Antony's army, he catches up with Octavian, Caesar too. And so Pullo finds a site where a battle had just ended between these two forces, and
a battle we didn't see.
A battle we didn't see. And so Pullo is looking at all the dead bodies, trying to see are any of these Varenus. And then suddenly Octavian, Caesar 2, shows up. He's like, "Hey, Pullo, how's it going, buddy?" It's clear that Octavian still has a lot of respect and for Titus Pullo. And Pullo's like, "Yeah, it's about Varenus. I found out his kids are alive. I'm trying to find them." And even though Varenus is now an enemy because Varenus is supporting Mark Antony, Caesar's like, "Yeah, okay, hey, let me help you out. Here's a scroll. You show this scroll to anyone, and it's got the mark of Caesar on it, and they'll let you pass."
Switched in with some dirt.
Yeah, hey,
we should point out that Octavian is now played by a different guy.
Yes,
he is a
completely
completely different actor.
He is. It's been 20 million years. Octavian has grown into an adult, and now we've got the new adult Octavian here. And he's also like, "Hey, give Pullo a fresh horse, give him rations," and all. Octavian is now just funding Pullo's trip and telling him, Mark Antony's forces went that way. Go get them.
Bros.
Yeah, it's I like that. I like
man in the sewers together, Steve. They bonded. That's the kind of thing you bond over, Steve. You remember that if you hadn't left Memphis.
I like Pullo when he's like, "Octavian, you've grown up," and he's like, "They call me Caesar now, Pullo." He's like, "Ah, yes, Caesar." It's great. fantastic.
Yeah, I like the relationship between Caesar 2 and Titus Pullo here. So Pullo then leaves to go find Varenus, and again, the next day finds Varenus and tells him, "Hey, guess what? Your kids are alive." And so Mark Antony had just gotten his ass kicked in the battle. He's kind of going over the losses with like the bookkeeper, Posca, the bookkeeper slave that used to belong to Caesar 1. For whatever reason, he's supporting Mark Antony, and I'm not entirely sure why, because Mark Antony never showed him any respect or like or anything. But he's there. He's, I guess, bookkeeper for Mark
Wasn't
Antony
he also
now.
granted freedom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have no idea why he's there. Why?
Good point. I wasn't even thinking about that. Why is Posca there?
Yeah, why is he
recognize
supporting
that one.
Mark Antony?
I didn't even recognize that was the character.
Yeah, he's
I recognize the character. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's like Mark Antony has done nothing but treat this man like shit and as a free. It's entirely plausible that Mark Antony threatened him, but again, show don't tell. Anyway, Posca is there.
Maybe Posca still feels loyal to like Caesar's family and stuff, and so with Atia, and therefore he's going to. It wouldn't keep an eye on Mark Antony for her. I don't know. They never tell us. They never tell us.
No, I would wager a bet what happened is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode. Exciting, very thrilling episode of Jupiter's Crock here on the Outpost Unknown YouTube channel. My name is Matthew. We are working our way through Season 2 of Rome. We're at Episode 5, Heroes of the
God damn it,
Republic.
it's another one of them.
Joining me on this journey is Ronan.
You owe us an apology, Matt. This is your fault.
I can't defend myself against your accusation. you're pretty much correct. And Steve.
I mean, it's actually my fault. I was the one that said, "Hey, we should watch Rome for Jupiter's Crock."
Oh, it's
well,
both
actually,
of you.
then I can defend myself, and I'll place all blame upon Steve.
I see. This is another thing where I could have just. Matt's memory is like Swiss cheese. I could have just not said anything, and Matt would have gone the rest of his life like carrying the guilt of making us watch Rome, even though it was entirely my fault.
Somebody is going to carry this burden.
I do remember saying that I liked it.
Yes, you absolutely
You've
did.
been preaching about this show, as far as I can remember, for borderline 10 plus years now. It's how long I've like it bare minimum. God,
It's
good
not
Christ,
holding up on a revisit. It's
Christ, we've
definitely
known
not
each other.
holding up.
We've known each other well over that long. Good God.
So we are at episode 5 of season 2, Heroes of the Republic. All right, Ploticus, take it away.
Well, before we actually talk about episode 5, I gotta quickly recap episode 4 because Matt's anti-technology force field hit me in the last recording section and just completely nuked our episode 4 recording. Absolutely unsalvageable. And so I made notes about the high points of episode 4. So let's go through those real quickly here. The first thing I wrote down.
It ended.
Yes, the high point is that we never have to watch episode 4 again. But episode 4 starts out with Duro getting caught and tortured by Timon. Remember Duro, that super important character who the entire plot of this renowned series hinges on? He getting tortured by Timon. Servilia gets captured by Atia. Timon then also tortures Servilia, but this is the beginning of his face turn where he screams at Atia, "I am not an animal," and leaves.
An animal!
I am not an animal. Mark Antony
Only
lost
1,000 things you've done to show your animal nature.
Yeah.
Cutting off the face of a woman is the line.
And you also did it in a very animalistic way. Absolutely.
Yeah, I forgot he was going to. Atia said, "Cut her face off." Just very nonchalantly cut Servilia's face off, and that was the line. You'd asked me to peel a fingernail back or cut her leg off or something, it'd have been fine. But I draw the line at face cutting, according to Timon. Mark Antony lost the war against Caesar, Caesar 2 Octavian. Remember that whole long drawn out war that we saw? Antony lost.
Such great, incredible action is what happened in my head canon, in my mind.
I noted that Posca is with Mark Antony. I remember commenting, like, why the fuck is Posca there? Like, he owes nothing to Mark Antony.
So we had a discussion about that as to why he was there. I don't know if that part was salvageable or not, but I proposed a theory, and I do know in future episodes that we get an answer to that theory. So I was in fact wrong with my proposed theory. But we can get to that later on.
Ronan just continuing his long, uninterrupted string of L's. Caesar 2 meets Pullo, and Pullo just shows up and Octavian. Caesar 2 is like, hey, you looking for Varenus? Pullo says, yeah. And then Octavian says he went that way. And just sends him on his way.
Gives him a clean horse, money, clothes, some food, some horse. Just gives him everything.
The one thing with the whole Pullo Varenus storyline, the only thing I'm enjoying it from this season is the weird bromance / mentorship between Octavian and Pullo. That's all I care about. What else happens? Agrippa starts the beginning of his love affair with Octavia. He awkwardly confesses his love for Octavia.
He saw her once, and now they're inseparable.
Yes, it was love at first sight for Agrippa. Not so much Octavia, though she comes around to it later on in future episodes. Agrippa comes back and says, hey, Caesar, Octavian won. And Agrippa then talks to Cicero, and Cicero's like, oh, fuck, there's another Caesar. Cicero is immediately aware that Octavian is going to be a problem. Pullo goes and finds Varenus and tells him, hey, your kids are alive, they're in slavery. And so then Pullo and Varenus go and massacre a couple of... this guy has a slice of...
4?
Yeah. This guy's got a slice of
so
pizza.
Much has happened. That's me, buddy.
I want that pizza.
That's me.
All right. Well, I don't want... if it's Matt's pizza, it's probably got... no flavor to it. He probably ordered it with no tomato sauce, no cheese, no toppings. He just has a pizza crust.
Yeah. Toppings and ingredients, they just detract from the taste of the crust. That's all that they do.
All in, fuck it, doing it.
All right. Well, the last thing that I noted about episode 4 is they find Varenus's kids, and it turns out his oldest daughter was I'm going all in as well, was forced to be a prostitute. Anything else you want to mention about episode 4 before we move on again to episode 5?
That feels like 8 episodes ago.
That's because 4 seasons have been condensed into one. Oh, 3 of a kind. Come on, baby, give me that. Okay, that didn't help either of you. That's fine. That's fine. Sweet. All right. Closing thoughts about episode 4 as we're off to a great start here today.
I hate you guys.
No. just slice that little 5-minute recap. That could be an episode. Welcome everybody to episode 5 of Jupiter's Crock.
I'm not doing that. I'm just leaving this in one episode.
Let's just roll into 5.
All right. So Pullo and Varenus get back with the kids. There's a scene where there's a roadblock, and Varenus goes up to Dude Bro and is very seriously by whose authority do you block the road? And Dude's like, motherfucking Caesar. And Varenus is like, oh, okay. And so they just go back. They don't fight it. They're just like, oh yeah, you know what? Fair. I will wait in line since you put it like that.
I waved my dick in your face, and you called it, and your penis was much bigger. So I will back down.
Funny joke though, where Pullo is like my boy beat your boy or whatever. Venus is more like Mark Antony, and Pullo's like, my boy beat your boy.
That's true. Yeah, I do enjoy that. It's somehow these two guys keep finding themselves on opposite sides, but the the brotherhood will not be diminished, except for the times where it was. Caesar has gone back to, I guess, like outside of Rome. Like he says he won't enter Rome until he's made consul, and he has a conversation with Cicero where he's like, "Hey, I want to be consul. Like I also want to triumph. I want a military parade. But if I'm not going to get one of those, then I definitely want to be consul." And Cicero's like, "Absolutely the fuck not! You will be consul. You're only 19.
Well,
like
Cicero doesn't want to give him a triumph either.
Yeah, he wants to give him nothing.
Nah.
He wants to give.
He at least has a good explanation for not giving him a tribute. Because like, well, Anthony is still technically alive, so that.
You haven't actually won yet.
Yeah, and like Caesar actually is like, you know what? Fair.
But I won good enough to be consul.
Really
Yeah.
He wants to be consul, and Cicero's like, "You're only 19, dude. No one's going to take you seriously as consul. But as long as you do absolutely everything that I say, you take my advice. The words that come out of your mouth are essentially my words. And I'll support you for being consul." And Octavian's like, that works for me. Yes, and clearly, like Cicero thinks that. All right, I got Octavian. He's in my clutches now. I'm going to control him, and he's going to find out later on that Octavian
5 minutes
will
later.
not be. Yes, in 5 minutes, which in the show's timeline is 24 years later. This is really going to come back to bite him.
We do find out in one of these episodes that within the span of time of like one episode, it has been at least 3 months because like a character mentions an event from like episode 4 and it's like 3 months ago, and I'm like, God, why are there no time markers in this?
Well, there was. Maybe it was in episode 4, the lost footage. I remember in one episode, it actually pops up and says 3 months later, and all 3 of us were incredulous that they just figured out how like adding text to a scene works in order to let us know about that.
They remembered how and then promptly forgot. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, so anyways, Caesar 2 goes, he doesn't go home, but Octavia goes to see him, and they get into a pissing match. Everyone in this shitty family is trying to like one up everyone else or try to assert dominance. So Octavia calls Octavian a stupid ass. Before that, she gets in an argument with her mom where Atia is like, "No, I will not make the first move." It's a point of pride that Octavian has to come to me. Ultimately, Atia does go to Octavian, but it's because she has hatched a scheme. She goes to him crying, "Oh, please forgive me. I was swayed by Mark Antony. He's so manipulative." And Octavian forgives her, and then Octavian finally goes home, and Octavia's like, "Holy shit, you actually came." And in the background, Atia is like grinning, like she thinks that she has won. 24 years later, 5 minutes from now, it's going to be clear that she did not win fucking shit. Verinus goes home. He went home. I'll just try to wrap up Verinus' story because I don't give a shit about Verinus at all anymore.
I don't give a shit about him or Polo anymore.
I'm still marginally interested in Polo, but Verinus, I don't give a shit.
That'll change in about 2 episodes.
Verinus goes back to.
Seen the whole season already.
I watched it, Ronan. I finished the series. Verinus goes back to his crime boss lair. And I swear in a previous recording, Matt said, Ronan, back me up on this. Matt said that he never goes back to the crime boss world, and that whole thing was pointless, right?
You know what? That we would have to go through the archives to double check it.
No,
But
that's
fuck
true.
that. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to agree with you. Yes.
That's true. Like I had no recollection of this. I think it's because his character in this is so forgettable this season. It's absolutely forgettable. Like Verinus is just awful to watch. He does nothing this whole fucking season, and I forgot all of it.
Their dynamic worked very well when it was Verinus was like, the competent one who tried to keep, who smart enough not to get drawn into stupid shit, but, his buddy Polo kept getting him pulled into it. And, his buddy is the stereotypical big stupid, who means well, but he's big, dumb, and stupid and prone to violence. So he keeps dragging his friend along into these shenanigans. The dynamic worked when it was that. Now the dynamic is Varenus is just a major cock, like just a huge dick, and he also has no fucking reason to go back to criming. They'd had this discussion on the road too, where Polo's like, we don't have to go back there, and he's like, no, my orders are still standing for Mark Antony. He's like, Anthony doesn't have power anymore at this current moment in time. Why the fuck are we going back there?
Yeah,
God damn, it's so fucking stupid.
One of Varenus's big hangups right now is that his oldest daughter was forced into prostitution, and so now he's like, well, she'll never get married, she'll never have a good life. Like, no decent man would have her. The only men that would marry her would be terrible people that would treat her poorly. I guess he's just going to keep her locked up in a closet. And Polo's like, there's truth and there's truth. There's lies and there's lies. We just go somewhere else and never tell anyone this. And Varenus is like, lie, live dishonestly. And he's very, and I'm like watching this and I'm like, yeah, live dishonestly, motherfucker. Just leave.
Yeah,
you don't need to be a part of this anymore.
Children. Yeah, do it for your children, you stupid cunt. God
it's so
damn
bad because when he brings them in to the crime den, he's like, "This is my daughter. She is a whore. Do not do anything to dishonor her."
This boy is not actually my son, but you will treat him like he is my son.
Yes, that's what I was going to get. He goes back and just airs his family's dirty laundry in front of the whole crime boss family. And so then Lighty shows back up and is very happy to meet the kids. You find out that either in this or the next episode, it doesn't matter. You find out that I won. How did I win that? Anyways,
You got the best hand.
Fair. So the kids start stealing. They want to flee. They don't love their dad. They basically pretend to still love their dad, but secretly they're planning an escape. And I think Lighty eventually figures this out at one point. Is there anything else? Varenus goes and has some pig blood smeared on him to cleanse the darkness from he and his family. Is there anything else that we need to say about Varenus in this episode?
I don't think there's anything really we need to say about him in the next several, but we'll have to.
Yeah, Varenus contributes nothing. I don't care about Varenus anymore. Don't care about his kids. That whole storyline needed to go away. The part of the series that I am still interested in is Octavian / Caesar 2 versus Mark Antony. So what happens with that? At one point, Cicero is discussing with Octavian that we sent a dude named Lepus to finish off Mark Antony, and then later on, in walks Lepus into Mark Antony's tent, and Lepus is like, "Fuck." Literally every single soldier I had just defected to you without anything happening. They just
love you so much.
And you kind of get the impression that Cicero may have known that this was going to happen. He needed to kind of keep the war. He basically he doesn't like Octavian. He doesn't like Mark Antony. He doesn't want either of them to win. So he's just trying to keep them in a stalemate for a while. But Lepus shows up.
I think he's worried. He's worried about Octavian though, because I think Cicero understands, because Cicero makes that comment. Maybe it was in episode 4. Who fucking knows? He's like, another Caesar, and Octavian's like, well, that's my name. That's my name, bitch.
Don't wear it out.
I think that Cicero is like, oh boy,
Yeah, he knows. Because previously, didn't he call Octavian back to Rome to start fighting the good fight again? Yeah. Cicero is just kind of playing both sides here, and he's losing both of them. But anyways, Lepus goes to Antony, and everyone immediately defects. Mark Antony kind of, not that Lepus put up much of a fight, but Mark Antony did kind of tell him, hey, you can be my second in command, or you can die. What would you prefer? And Lepus is like, all right, well, I guess I'm your boy now.
Number 2.
Yeah,
your boy.
Cicero, knowing that. Sorry. Let me back up. Is this the episode where Caesar 2. Yeah, Caesar 2 goes to, he's like nominated for consul as his wishes, and then immediately fucks over Cicero and is like, hey, in my first law as undisputed God Emperor King of Rome is I now declare Brutus and his friend whose name doesn't matter to be enemies of the state. They murdered Caesar 1. They are now enemies. And Cicero gets up and he's like, dude, this is not what we talk about. And Octavian says, I don't give no fucks.
Down.
And then
like,
get away from, step away from my chair.
Away from my throne, motherfucker. You just see Cicero's face. He's like, oh, shit.
I think he says, I've been bested by a child.
Oh, God, this incredibly treacherous boy just did a treachery on me. How could I have not seen this coming?
Well, that's the whole thing, like, everyone...
Man alive.
But everyone underestimates Octavian, and they eventually pay for it.
That's the point. That's the whole point of Octavian. That's how he becomes the first emperor of Rome, is like literally everybody underestimated him because he was like a teenager, but he's like incredibly smart. He's gonna fuck them all over.
Yes.
Spoiler.
So he declares Brutus enemy of Rome. Cicero realizes, all right, well, as predicted, we've got another Caesar, Code Caesar in Rome. We need the heroes of the Republic to come back and kill him. So Cicero sends a message to Brutus, and we see Brutus and the guy's name is Cassius. Is that other dude?
I think so, yeah.
All right. So Brutus and Cassius are like, Brutus is like, fuck yeah, finally I get to, I get to start some shit. He's like, look at this letter from, yes. He's like, look at this letter from Cicero. He's referring to us as heroes of the Republic. He wants us to come back and kick Octavian's ass. Cicero is just once again like blowing smoke up its ass. I don't think anyone like takes Brutus seriously at this point. But Brutus, to his credit,
Brutus, they have a ton of legions at this point, and that's the whole thing. Octavian only has 4, and there's a point, I don't know if it's in this episode or the next episode, where like Octavian's like, what the fuck am I going to do? And he actually yells at somebody, he's like, I don't know what we're going to do, because, if Brutus and them were to come in, they're going to mop up Octavian.
Yeah, after contacting Brutus and calling him heroes of the Republic and whatnot, Cicero goes to Octavian and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here to demand that you completely disarm, disarm your military, give up all of the power you have because Brutus is coming back." And
a little bird told me that Brutus is coming back. He has 20 legions. Bum, bum, bum.
Yes, he's got 20 legions compared to Octavian's 4 or 5. And he's like, maybe if you disarm and surrender yourself, I'll tell Brutus that you were just an idiot child who got caught up in the moment. It's fine, stand down. And this might be the first time in the show that we see Octavian either as an adult or as a kid, like actually concerned. Like in previous, like when he was a kid, even when things weren't going his way, like he was stoic, stone-faced. He had plans for plans. At this point, Octavian doesn't have any fucking plans to fix the math of 4 legions compared to 20. So yeah, he's a little worried. But his mom's got that good vagina, and so he sends Atia to Mark Antony's camp as a gift, and that settles things between Mark Antony and Octavian. So they join forces, and now the two of them united will end up fighting Brutus. And that is all I got for episode 5, I think.
Yeah. So Caesar with 4 legions beat Mark Antony, who presumably had several more than that, because Antony has to have enough legions with him to where his amount plus like Caesar's 4 beats the. I think the Brutus actually has like 14, but it's whatever. Like it's like. So, but then how did Caesar beat Antony with 4 legions?
Well, I assume he started out with more, and then war happened, and a bunch of people died.
Well, okay, no, I think I just realized what might have happened. Anthony probably didn't have that many, but then Cicero sent what's his name, who's lucked his way into the situation and will become part of the second triumvirate through sheer fucking luck. I think that might have given Anthony enough troops to now they can easily best. At
the end of the episode, it's Octavian's forces plus Anthony's forces plus Lepidus's forces. So like all of them together apparently are good enough to choose to fight Brutus now.
That has to be otherwise this don't make no sense. And it's like it's either like the show is stupid and written poorly, or it's stupid and was written in a rushed haste. I don't know which one.
I'm gonna go rushed haste. Like I can still see quality in this, even though it's being executed horribly right now because they just gotta maybe the biggest shortcoming of this show is that when they found out they were being canceled, instead of cutting things, they chose to condense things. Like maybe season 2 needed to end, not 20 years in the future from the starting point of like episode 4 or whatever, 5, whatever we're on.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes they had written before they were told, oh yeah, we're canceling you, by the way, this is your last season. Because they had grand plans. Like, because this season, everything with like Tibian and who is this? Like, I forget the name of it, but the king character who keeps popping up.
Herod.
Yeah. Like that. All of that is there to set up shit for future seasons that they knew at some point were not going to be there, and I guess they just did not have the time, or probably the time and money. They just didn't have the ability to say, "Oh fuck, we have to go back and rewrite the 3-4 episodes because we set this up early on. We have to cut all of this and just
this is really this is probably more shit that we should talk about for like season 10. But I've finished the series. I know where the series ends. Maybe the end of the series shouldn't have been when Octavian is the undisputed ruler of Rome. Maybe it should have just been like the war with Brutus. Like the war with Brutus is the main focus of season 2, and then the end of the series is Octavian and Antony. They are now the second triumvirate, and they're kind of like side-eyeing each other, both knowing that shit's gonna go down in the future. But we're not going to see that in this episode because the creators are smart enough to know that they couldn't cram all that in there.
I believe that was the plan. The original plan was for the season to end with that climax, like the Battle of Brutus and all that. And then, like, the next season would set up would go properly to setting up the second triumvirate. And then, like, 4th season would set up stuff with Cleopatra. Because they wanted to end this with, like, the fucking birth of Christ. That was literally the goal, from what I have read. It's like the goal was to end with like the birth of Christ, like that. That's how long out they had this planned, and obviously they never got there.
Well, then they went even too far for 2 seasons to work for this. But anyways, episode 5, Matt, your thoughts? Anything that I missed from episode 5 to bring up?
No, I don't think you missed anything. I will say, in defense of this show, because we're giving it a lot of shit right now because none of us are really kind of enjoying the characters or where this, kind of what you said, Steve, how it's like everything is so rushed and so quick. It's like we're missing all the development that we kind of need. There are still things I like in this show. Like I still love the sort of interplay between Mark Antony and like everybody in this. I love like his smirks and how like just the acting of all these characters. It's fun to watch them bounce off of each other. It's just so like unfocused, and that's the major problem. Like we have these big ideas. We're gonna get to the Battle of Philippi and all of that, and Brutus has been in maybe like I want to say less than 10 minutes of this entire season. It feels like how many episodes have we actually gone? We sort of traveled and with Brutus, and we're learning about his inner thoughts. It's like we got him kind of like getting drunk, walking into a lake, baptizing himself, and now he's like, hell yeah, we got the legions all built. Like we don't see how that's all done. We don't follow him and
how he has to actually build all of these legions to take back Rome and why he wants to do it. All we get is one quick little scene. Fuck yeah, or we're gonna be heroes again. It's like, well, I want to know why he's so passionate about that. Now I can read in between the lines. It's because everybody makes fun of him. He's like, hell yeah, I killed Caesar. My family kills tyrants, and everyone's laughing at him. Like, dude, you just he was already dead. You were too much of a pussy to do it yourself. I can read that, but I want to see that. I want that to be developed, and that actor was so good. I just feel like that's the problem with the show. And not necessarily that the show is horrible and it's just a flaming piece of shit that well, maybe Ronan will disagree that they're just terrible to watch, but that it's just like there is no connective tissue for jumping from scene to scene to scene to scene. And it's just in my head, when I watched this years ago, I guess I just didn't. You just forget about that. You're just thinking about the big moments in the show, like, oh, this was cool, and this was cool, and this was cool, and it's like rewatching this. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough, but there's still some good. There's still good here. There's just not enough of it because they were, I guess, handcuffed by HBO.
The one thing that I just remembered that is going to be a bigger deal as the series progresses that I forgot to mention is Gaia, who is a character that I don't even know that we've mentioned in the recording so far, because she, in whatever episode it is where Varinus and Pullo first become the crime bosses, there's a woman who says, I'll run the brothel and I get X amount of pay. And so that led me to believe that she was an employee because she is demanding pay and negotiating. But it turns out she's apparently actually a slave.
Yeah, she's just not to be too much of a dick, she's just a sassy slave. That's all she is.
No.
Oh. But the reason I bring up. Oh wow. Yes. Let it happen, Matt. Let it happen.
Just let it wash all over you, Matt. Just let it wash all over you.
The reason I bring this up is because in this episode, she starts a plot to bang the highest level member of the crime boss family that she can in order to attain power. So she tells Varinus, you can have me if you want, and Varinus is like, all right. But then afterwards, she's like, all right, take your money and get out. And she says, yeah, I'm not a whore. And Varinus is like, take the fucking money and leave. She wants to actually, because she's been dating, air quotes, Macias for a couple of episodes now. And she's trying to, but he's third man, and she is trying to elevate herself. She fucks Varinus, but Varinus is not interested in anything else. Later on in the series, she's going to turn her attention to Pullo.
Ronan, your thoughts on this episode?
It sucked. I think we also so this they head back to the going back to the frustratingness of Titus, Pullo, and Varinus, because they were up until this. Well, I can't say up until this point, but because they. We started realizing that the shit with them was kind of lazily written and everything last season, because Pullo just gets things handed to him that he doesn't deserve and that he has done nothing to be redeemed and get. So their characters are already kind of a little trashed off at this point. But so I say all this. So in the last episode, when because Pullo had decided, you know what, I'm sick of all this. Fuck you guys. I'm going to take my wife and I'm just going to go do stuff elsewhere. And then comes back a couple of months later, didn't he come to the Abbey and wasn't it burnt into rubble and just didn't he come back to a pile of debris? Isn't that what happened? And now it's just back.
Yeah.
Well, that's because 17 years have passed between those scenes.
Yeah, they built it back up, Ronan.
No,
Chopped down some trees, Rebuilt?
built it back up in like the span of an it's you can understand by what's his name again, the third guy, like, well, it's like, fuck it, it's like third man,
Macias.
yeah, like number 3 had, like, you know, when Rennes comes back, he's clearly upset that he's still the third man, even though he apparently took a losing gang war that Rennes started and then just abandoned the minute that, like, you know, he was able to. He took that losing gang war, turned it around, won, and then, like, rebuilt everything and had it running basically same as it was by the time Rennes comes back. Yeah, I understand that he's pissed off.
Yeah, he ain't wrong.
No. That's right,
Yeah,
bitch.
it just has his bro. He's like, hey, my bro's
That's
number
right.
2.
Suck
That's what
it.
it is.
Suck it. I win. Yes.
I want to.
Yeah,
that's it, folks. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to say about episode 5?
Varenus needs sleep. Like the episode 1 of season 2 should have been like, and then Varenus went to find his kids and never returned, and
yeah, I think you said the best thing in the Discord, which was, because obviously we both have gone through and just kind of finished out the season. Ronan's lagging behind us, but the number one thing is there should have been no Polo and Varenus.
I'd rather you write them out early. Don't have them die, but just have
you
them kind of, like, go off.
are driving me fucking nuts. The second letter of his name is a U, not an O. I know it's easy to get those two confused, but it is a U. His name is Polo, not Polo.
Polo.
I don't care enough about him to get his name right, Steve, so you're just going to have to...
Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening to another wonderful fucking episode of Jupiter's Crock. We'll be back next time with episode 6, and I'm going to end the recording and hope it doesn't crash.